Hey guys, T. Hep here, and welcome to my living room. According to God's word to man, the Bible, a husband is to lead, provide for, and protect his wife. And if he has children, he is to do the same for them. If you're a husband, are you consistent in these duties? If you're a father, are you consistent in these responsibilities? Helping you answer these questions is the chief purpose of this video. I plead with you to watch all of the video. Why the plea? Because I know from experience that many men in our day lack the chest needed to hear what I have to say, to borrow from C.S. Lewis. Happily, I am both a husband and a father. Sadly, however, I am not consistent and faithful to my wife and 3 children in leading, providing for them, and protecting them. Though redeemed by the Lord Jesus, I am still a fallen son of Adam. So I now have and will always have gaffes in my beliefs and practices. Nevertheless, since marrying Angie in 2006 and becoming a father for the first time in 2010, my consistency in the aforementioned areas has improved by leaps and bounds. Remember, walking the walk is about direction, not perfection. For no man, redeemed or not, will achieve perfection in this life. Over the last 12 years, here are some ways that I have become more faithful at leading, providing for, and protecting my wife and children. Owning and training with combat-grade tactical weapons, like this 12-gauge shotgun in the bedroom. And yes, guys, I conscientiously started with weapons because I knew it would interest you guys and it would hook you. Long-range precision rifle and close-quarters combat rifle for home defense. Carrying a combat-grade pistol and knife at all times. Home with a security system. Home with a safe room. A clean, well-organized house. This is our family van. It's a Toyota Sienna 2015 model, and it's very reliable, has a great 5-star crash rating. Okay. In the family van, we have 2 very high-quality child car seats. These Diono Radian model for both of them. What do you think, kids?
I like it.
Behind this box is a whole house water filter that removes all chlorine and fluoride, radiation, and other neurotoxins. Quality bicycle helmets for each of our children. High quality supportive shoes. And looky there, a carbon monoxide detector. The best English commentary on every book of the Bible, Genesis to Revelation. A large personal library so that all of us can continue to learn. Our library now requires 2 rooms. Good toys and tools for my children's bodies and minds. Good clothing for my children and wife. Buying life insurance for myself and my wife. If I die tomorrow, will my wife and children be left with a house, vehicle, and sizable savings, or will they be saddled with a mountain of debt? If my wife dies tomorrow, will I be able to hire a nanny and educate her to take care of and train my children? Buying medical insurance. 3 families come to mind right now, 2 of which I know well. All of them suffered major medical bills in excess of $500,000. None had medical insurance. Right or wrong, catastrophic medical care in the U.S. is usually very expensive, and there is a high likelihood that you, your wife, or your children will incur major medical charges at some point. I therefore buy medical insurance. Before I leave this point, a word for those of you out there who say, I don't need insurance. I trust God to take care of me. You're twice wrong. You need insurance, and you're not trusting God. you're sinfully presuming upon the providence of God. Or, in the words of Dr. Robert Stein, you're prostituting the Holy Spirit. Yes, I realize that stings some of you, for good reason. Rhetorical question for you. What is the likelihood of my needing most of the things that I just showed you? Very, very low. Hold this thought. Listen to the following from the most published book in the history of the world. Surely you guys own this book, the Bible. Matthew 23:23. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you tithe mint and dill and cumin, and have neglected the weightier provisions of the law, justice and mercy and faithfulness. But these are the things you should have done without neglecting the others. Hear the last sentence of that verse from a more fluid translation, the New Living Translation. Blind guides, you strain your water so you won't accidentally swallow a gnat. Then you swallow a camel. Here's the chief point of this video. Most husbands and fathers today, in the US at least, are guilty of straining out a gnat while swallowing a camel. They have spent mucho dinero on things for their family, such as guns, ammo, knives, weapons training, security systems, safe rooms, well-made cars, well-made car seats, clothing, bicycle helmets, insurance policies, quality clothing, quality toys, etc. Meanwhile, husbands and fathers today have purchased for years and continue to purchase things for their family, usually every day, that are slow killing their wives and children. This is a glaring inconsistency and a glaring failure. About what might I be talking? These harmful things are food, drinks, nutritional supplements, personal hygiene products, and home hygiene products. I'm going to repeat that. These things are food, drinks, nutritional supplements, personal hygiene products, and home hygiene products. Yep, the relatively common, mundane stuff that we consume and use every single day of our lives. Here are some examples. Fast food. Fast pseudo-food. I'll pick on the largest volume fast pseudo-food restaurant on earth, McDonald's. Part of me cannot believe that this company is still selling its refuse. There are a slew of exposés on McDonald's products, far too many for any husband or father to truthfully say, I didn't know that McDonald's sells fake, carcinogenic, toxic food-like products. Give me a break and grow up, hubbies and daddies. Turn off the boob tube and do 20 minutes of research on this thing called the internet. Virtually everything that can be known is available there right now in 3 different formats for your learning pleasure: video, audio, text. I'll also put my finger in the eye of many professing Christians by criticizing their fast pseudo-food golden calf, Chick-fil-A. In August of 2012, Mike Adams wrote an article titled, quote, Chick-fil-A sandwiches contain MSG, HFCS, and anti-foaming chemicals. Eating them is a sin in the eyes of God, unquote. It's a stinging indictment against the hypocritical American churchgoer who shows his opposition to the LGBT or lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender community and same-sex marriage advocates by patronizing Chick-fil-A. The Apostle Paul wrote in 1 Corinthians 10:31, quote, Whether then you eat or drink, or whatever you do, do all to the glory of God, unquote. Reflection question for you who claim Jesus as your Lord. May you eat the following to fuel the temple of the Holy Spirit, 1 Corinthians 6, and fulfill or do the positive instruction implicit in the 6th commandment or word of Moses, Exodus 20. Here's the list. Monosodium glutamate, or MSG, soybean oil, sodium aluminum phosphate, dimethyl polysiloxane, an anti-foaming chemical, high fructose corn syrup, ammonium sulfate, soy lecithin, sodium benzoate, polysorbate 80, yellow dye number 5, blue dye number 1, potassium sorbate, and TBHQ. May you eat these things? Certainly not. Genetically modified organisms, or GMOs. Frankenfood, as it's rightly been called. Do you know anything about GM food? Why have many nations banned them? Why are there multiple lawsuits by individuals and organizations against every GMO chemical company in America? What percentage of your food is made of them? If you can't answer these questions, wake up and pull your head out of the sand. Put down the government-ran newspaper, turn off the boob tube, and read any number of peer-reviewed scholarly articles or books written by people who don't stand to earn a windfall from BASF stock dividends. Processed food. For example, frozen casseroles, cold cuts, hot dogs, Lunchables, ramen noodles, cereals, breads, frozen dinners. By processed, I mean over-processed, for every food is processed to some degree. This isn't the most colorful photo of a Lunchable that I ate growing up, but it is the most nostalgic, so I went with it. The Environmental Working Group gave this product, turkey and cheddar with crackers, the worst score possible, a 10. That was based on nutrition concern, ingredient concern, and a very high processing concern. Here's the ingredient list, and forgive me if I can't pronounce some of these things. Roast white turkey, cured, smoke flavor, added, white turkey, water, potassium lactate, modified cornstarch, good old GM corn, it's in everything. Carrageenan, salt, sodium phosphates, potassium chloride, nitrite. There's natural and artificial flavors. There's a cheese product. Notice it's not a cheese, it's a cheese product. Sugar, no doubt that's genetically modified beet sugar. Salt, no doubt that's not sea salt, naturally occurring sea salt. Soy lecithin, almost all soy is genetically modified. I must highlight a few things on the EWG's or Environmental Working Group's top findings and other information screen for this product. So the first, you see on the right there, other information. This product contains the following ingredients that may be genetically engineered or derived from GE crops. Modified starch from corn, dextrose, sodium citrates, lactic acid, sugars, and lecithin from soy. So most, if not all of these products that you're feeding your little Johnny are pseudofoods. They're frankenfoods. They're genetically engineered things that didn't exist just a short while ago. On the left, you see their top findings. As you would expect, it contains lots of food additives that are of high concern to the EWG. Nitrites and nitrates, you should not eat them. Third point, antibiotics were likely used in the production of this meat. The fourth one, hormones and or growth promoters were likely used in the production of meat ingredients in this product. No doubt if this turkey came from a confined animal feeding operation, which I'm sure it did, it's got some sort of growth promoter inside of it. I can't move on from the processed food section without mentioning Cheerios, mom's go-to for kids of all ages. Here you can see the EWG score for General Mills' Cheerios, sweetened whole grain oat cereal, honey nut version. They gave it a 7 out of 10, 10 again being the worst you could possibly get. See the gauge on the right? The processing concern is quite high. Here are the ingredients. Sugar is the second ingredient in the list of ingredients. And as you guys probably know, food manufacturers typically put in order of percentage by mass that which constitutes the product. So sugar is number 2. Cornstarch, number 4. So that's a genetically modified product that you're feeding your little Johnny. Honey, doubtful that's real honey. Brown sugar syrup, again, salt, probably not naturally occurring sea salt. Canola oil, this is almost always genetically modified. In the EWG's other information section of their report on this product, you can see there that it may contain genetically engineered or derived from GE crops, sugars, cornstarch, sugar syrup, and canola oil. So there's no excuse, guys, to feed your kids this crap. I want to highlight the 5th finding from the top in EWG's top findings list. Contains 133% more sugar per serving than the average cold cereal. Sugar is, or should be, classified as a drug, as some sort of psychotropic drug. If you've done any research at all on sugar, you should know this. To boot, this is GM sugar. It's not even cane sugar. It's a GM product. And so this product has excess sugar in it. Husbands and fathers, what is your family drinking? Kool-Aid, Pepsi, and other genetically modified sugar beet loaded drinks. Coca-Cola is probably the top selling soda or pop on earth today. So let's take a gander at its EWG score, their concerns, and its ingredients. You see there that the Environmental Working Group awarded Coca-Cola Soda Pop a score of 9 out of 10, again 10 being the worst. Unlike many products today, at least Coke has one thing going for it: very few ingredients. Let's look at them. First is carbonated water. Most likely that is a fluoride-laden water. The second ingredient is high fructose corn syrup. It being second means there's a bunch of it in that product. Third, caramel color. No doubt that's an artificial coloring. Phosphoric acid. Natural flavors. Of course, they're not going to tell you everything that's in it because it's proprietary and secret. But who knows what's in the natural flavors? And then lastly, there's caffeine. In the EWG's other information section of their report on Coke, they state there, as you can see, this product contains the following ingredients that may be genetically engineered or derived from GE crops: high fructose corn syrup, or HFCS, as I mentioned earlier in Mike Adams' article. High fructose corn syrup is a bad, bad thing. If you don't know this, read, do some research, and you'll soon learn that you should avoid it. The second thing in the list of EWG's top findings, it calculates that this product contains 10 teaspoons of added sugar per serving. 10 teaspoons. That is ridiculous. That in one sitting somebody would gulp down that much garbage. And then, as I mentioned earlier in the third point, it contains the non-specific ingredient flavor. You have no idea what's in that. So if you look on the bottom right, in the nutrition facts, same thing you see on the back of a can of pop, can of Coke. Total carbs, 39 grams. They all come from the GM sugar. Lovely. Water. Do you men provide clean, fluoride-free, chlorine-free, chloramine-free water for your family? Whole house filter systems, like this one from AMAC Water of Houston, Texas, are readily available today. For the cost of a well-equipped AR, you can buy one. Energy drinks. Any man who buys Monster or Red Bull drinks for his wife and kids needs a spanking. period. They spike your glycemic index. They tax your adrenal glands. They are filled with GM sugar, an excessive amount of caffeine, carcinogenic sweeteners, neurotoxins, and other garbage that shouldn't be put in a landfill, let alone your tummy. We'll take a look at one drink from Monster. It's called Monster Coffee Energy Drink, salted caramel flavor. You can see here the EWG awards it a grade of 6 out of 10. Actually, I thought it would be higher. If you look on the right there on this slide, the processing concern is very high. I'll highlight a few things in the ingredient list. The first is the brewed coffee. Most likely, this coffee does not come from organic coffee beans. Condensed skim milk. Most likely, this milk is from cows that are in some kind of nasty confined animal feeding operation, full of hormones and antibiotics, pasteurized milk. The next ingredient, sugar. Again, it's near the top of the list because there's a ton of it in the product. And it's GM, genetically modified. The next one I want you to look at, that I got a little arrow pointing to there, is microcrystalline cellulose. Any idea what that is? Most likely that's wood pulp. Yes, ground up wood. This is in many products today, some form of what's called cellulose. I don't think that God made us to eat trees. Pretty sure about that. The next one we'll look at is sugar syrup, caramelized sugar syrup. So they've got sugar near the beginning, and then they've got sugar syrup. And if that's not sweet enough for you, which obviously it isn't, you've got sucralose, a neurotoxin, that follows. Like many products, if you look at this next slide in the other information section, they say this product contains the following ingredients that may be genetically engineered or derived from GE crops: sugar syrup, sugars, maltodextrin, and on and on. On the left, as I was mentioning a moment ago, third point down from the top, ingredients likely derived from antibiotic-treated animals, the cows. Fourth point, ingredients derived from animals that may have been treated with hormones and or growth promoters, the cows. Sixth point down from the top, EWG calculates that this product contains 3 teaspoons of added sugar per serving. Below that you see an added sugar is the #1 ingredient in this product. Below that you see contains the non-specific ingredient flavor. You have no idea what's in that. Hand soap. For example, Dial antibacterial liquid hand soap. Antibacterial soap is ineffective, all the while containing triclosan, a known poison. Many people speculated for a long time that antibacterial soap was no more effective at killing bacteria than using traditional soap and water. In December 2014, after more than 40 years of research on the subject, the U.S. Federal Drug Administration found this to be true. They now require antibacterial soap manufacturers to provide substantial evidence that their products are more effective than traditional soap and water. The EWG gave this product, Dial antibacterial liquid hand soap, spring water, a score of 5. Here's their list of ingredient concerns. At the top is the ingredient called fragrance. Product manufacturers do not have to publish what constitutes a fragrance. There are over 3,000 stock chemicals that perfume manufacturers, so-called air freshener manufacturers, personal hygiene manufacturers, all these products need not, by law, state what constitutes the fragrance because it's a proprietary secret blend. But many, many people and organizations have demonstrated that the chemicals that make up fragrance, as it's called, are toxic. They're poisonous to the human body. So here, next to fragrance, they give their concerns with the fragrance, and they give it a score of 8. Allergies, immunotoxicity. It's an irritant to the skin, eyes, and lungs. To the non-productive organs, it's toxic. Below that, as I mentioned, it contains triclosan. This stuff, believe it or not, is still in so many liquid soaps. It's an irritant, again, to the skin, eyes, or lungs. It's an endocrine disruptor. It's an allergen. The third ingredient listed here, DMDN hydantoin, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that, the EWG gives it a 7. It's a formaldehyde releaser. Hair soap, also known as shampoo. For example, Suave Naturals shampoo. How exactly does DMDM hydantoin or methyl isothiazolinone or methylchloroisothiazolinone qualify as natural? Is Unilever telling the truth? No, it's called doublespeak, right, Mr. Orwell? The Environmental Working Group gave the Suave Natural shampoos a grade or score of 6. Here are their ingredient concerns. At the top of the list, like the last one, fragrance. You don't know what's in it. So they give it a score of 8. They have the same concerns as I mentioned earlier, so I won't go through all those and you can see them. Second, the same thing as the soap above, the DMDM hydantoin. And then there's that long chemical there that is supposedly natural. They give it a score of 7. And then the other long chemical name that I tried to say earlier, they give it a score of 6. Laundry soap, for example, Tide. Based on the never-ending list of weird ingredients in this stuff, I think I now know the origin of the term laundry list. The product that the EWG reviewed was the Tide liquid detergent, the original. In fact, it's probably the one that my mom used many times when I was growing up. Here are the list of the concerns. They have a very high concern in the category of developmental and reproductive toxicity. Here are many of the ingredients. I don't list them all here for you. The first, sodium borate. The score of that ingredient, F. They have a high concern, developmental, endocrine, reproductive effects. And then they have some concern in the category or area of skin irritation, that it acts as an allergen, has respiratory effects. The next ingredient, ethanolamine. Like with sodium borate, the EWG gives it a score of F. They have moderate concern related to its respiratory effects, general systemic or organ effects. The next ingredient is that all too elusive fragrance, a D. The next one, another D, disodium diaminostilbene, disulfonate. These are kind of fun sometimes to see if you can pronounce them. This next one gets a C, alcohol ethoxyl sulfates, maybe. So here they have some concern. You can see what their concerns are, but they're serious. Chronic aquatic toxicity, acute aquatic toxicity, DNA damage, respiratory effects, the same developmental, endocrine, reproductive effects, digestive system effects, nervous system effects, damage to your vision, and cancer. The next 4 ingredients all get a C. Alcohol sulfates, glycol, here's some more. All of these ingredients get C's. So the Environmental Working Group has significant concern for many, many ingredients in one of the most popular laundry soaps, detergents, in use around the world today. I wonder if any of you husbands and fathers have ever looked at the list of ingredients in Tide. Raise your hand if you have a clue about even half of these constituents. What are they? From whose test tube do they originate? Can you coat your clothes with them without poisoning your body? But they all flow out of the washer drain, along with your dirt and sweat, right? Wrong. Toothpaste, for example, Crest or Colgate. We'll look at the EWG's report for Crest Fluoride Anti-Cavity Toothpaste. My big beef with this product, as with almost all big box store toothpaste, is that it contains fluoride. In this case, the fluoride is sodium fluoride. Note it's the active ingredient. The concerns are there on the slide. It's an irritant to the skin, eyes, or lungs. They have concern related to organ system toxicity and developmental or reproductive toxicity. I encourage all of you guys to do your research into the subject of fluoride. It's a chemical industry byproduct, and it's a poison. And for good reason, many municipalities around the United States even are no longer adding fluoride to the public water supply. In many countries in the world, it's banned. The governments of those countries, listening to their citizens, unlike our governments, they have removed fluoride. They will not tolerate this poison being put into their water because it has no benefit. It's never been shown to strengthen your teeth, your enamel, or to help your dental hygiene. I also want to note the ingredients of titanium dioxide and sodium lauryl sulfate. Both not good. Deodorant, for example, Degree. It's confession time. I used Degree antiperspirant deodorant for many years. I stopped about 4 years ago. I remember returning 3 unused cans of it to Wally World, also known as Walmart. When the customer service lady asked me if anything was wrong with the product, I replied, "Yes, it's poisonous to humans." I admit that I like Degree's smell, and it was very effective at preventing pit sweat. But at what long-term cost? For several months before I stopped using it, my caring bride urged me to use something better for me. Every morning, I would spray Degree Sport right into my armpits. My axillary lymph nodes, as they're called, are located at my armpits. The node's function is to help fight infection and filter lymph fluid, which often carries bacteria and waste products. The nodes also destroy old or abnormal cells, such as cancer cells. For years, I counteracted these nodes by showering them with carcinogenic substances. The Environmental Working Group gives this product a score of 6. Degree Men Dry Spray Antiperspirant Extreme Edition. Here are some of the ingredients. Number 1 is the mysterious fragrance. It gets a score of 8 out of 10. Butane, 7 out of 10. Isobutane, another 7. BHT, a relatively low score of 4. And propane, a score of 4. Air freshener, for example, Febreze. For those of you listening to this video and not watching it, I'll read this slide to you. Febreze, we're out to make the world breathe happy. But our products also contain over 80 known toxic chemicals, including mutagenic chemicals, hepatotoxins, reproductive toxins, neurotoxins, genotoxins, and bronchoconstrictors. So-called air fresheners like Febreze don't remove stinky molecules and don't clean anything that they contact. Contra the manufacturer's claim, they don't freshen the air. When Febreze is sprayed, odor molecules go nowhere. You simply can't perceive them afterwards because you smell Febreze instead by inhaling it past your olfactory nerve. Does your room smell like an Alaskan springtime because the Procter & Gamble Company of Cincinnati, Ohio canned Alaskan air in the spring? No. A bunch of their well-compensated chemists created a synthetic chemical soup that temporarily makes your nose happy, while poisoning the rest of your body with its mutagenic constituents, hepatotoxins, reproductive toxins, neurotoxins, genotoxins, and bronchoconstrictors. The Environmental Working Group has tested 39 of Procter & Gamble's Febreze brand products. The misleading manufacturer disclosed 3 ingredients in its Alaskan springtime. EWG found 87 chemicals in the Air Effects product. About 93% of the 39 products tested received a grade of D or F. Not good. Here are some of the 87 chemicals listed in order of their toxicity to humans. BHT, neurotoxin, endocrine disruptor, skin, eye, and lung irritant. Acetaldehyde, or ethanol. It's a carcinogen, toxic to reproduction and development. Immunotoxin, non-reproductive organ system toxin, skin, eye, and lung irritant. Third ingredient, propylene glycol, causes cancer, allergies, toxic to the human immune system, accumulates in your body, non-reproductive organ system toxin, irritates the skin, eyes, and lungs. 1,3-dichloro-2-propanol, carcinogenic. Methyl pyrrolidone, toxic to reproduction and development. Allergen, immunotoxin, non-reproductive organ system toxin, skin, eyes, and lung irritant. Butylphenyl methylpropanol, allergen, immunotoxin, skin, eyes, and lung irritator. Ethyl acetate, linked to developmental reproductive toxicity, neurotoxicity, skin, eyes, and lung irritant. Geraniol, linked to allergies, immunotoxicity, skin, eyes, and lung irritant. Linalool, allergen, immunotoxin, skin, eyes, and lung irritant. Benzaldehyde, neurotoxin, skin, eyes, and lung irritant. Fragrance, one of the 3 ingredients disclosed. Who knows? Do you trust the Procter & Gamble Corporation fat cats? Insect repellent, for example, off. DEET is its active ingredient. Listen to the warnings on the product label. Precautionary statements. Hazards to humans. Caution. Causes moderate eye irritation. Avoid contact with eyes. Harmful if swallowed. Use of this product may cause skin reactions in rare cases. Wash treated clothing before wearing it again. Wash hands thoroughly with soap and water after handling and before eating, drinking, chewing gum, using tobacco, or using the toilet. If in eyes, first aid section. Hold eye open and rinse slowly and gently with water for 15 to 20 minutes. Remove contact lenses, if present, after the first 5 minutes. Then continue rinsing eye. Call a poison control center or doctor for treatment advice. Next section, if swallowed, call a poison control center or doctor immediately for treatment advice. Have person sip a glass of water if able to swallow. Do not induce vomiting unless told to do so by a poison control center or doctor. Do not give anything by mouth to an unconscious person. Generally speaking, my family and I only put on our skin what we would put in our mouth. In other words, if we wouldn't eat it, we don't put it on our skin. Recall the largest organ of the human body, the skin. Man's skin is not an impenetrable plastic coating. Instead, it readily absorbs and secretes fluids all the time. Most liquids, including insect repellent, pass right through the human skin
and into the circulatory system, by which the fluid is spread throughout the body. So, again, my family only puts on our skin what we would be willing to consume through our mouths. We live in the country on a small farm, so we understand the need to keep biting bugs off you when you're in the pasture, working in the garden, or putting some lead downrange. In May of 2015, Dr. Joseph Mercola wrote, quote, "DEET has been shown to harm brain and nervous system function. Children are particularly at risk for subtle neurological changes because their skin more readily absorbs chemicals in the environment, and chemicals exert more potent effects on their developing nervous systems. DEET is not your only option for insect repellent. Fortunately, and Consumer Reports tests have recently revealed natural alternatives that may be even more effective without the harsh side effects." Unquote. I'll tell you about an excellent natural alternative shortly. To drive home the foolishness of using OFF or a similar synthetic product, a bit more of Dr. Mercola is in order. Quote, "Duke University Medical Center pharmacologist Mohammed Abu Donia spent 30 years researching the effects of pesticides. He discovered that prolonged exposure to DEET can impair cell function in parts of your brain, demonstrated in the lab by death and behavioral changes in rats with frequent or prolonged DEET use. Other potential side effects of DEET exposure include memory loss, headache, muscle weakness and fatigue, shortness of breath, muscle and joint pain, tremors. Another potentially harmful chemical found in many bug sprays is permethrin. This chemical is a member of the synthetic pyrethroid family, all of which are neurotoxins. The EPA has even deemed this chemical carcinogenic, capable of causing lung tumors, liver tumors, immune system problems, and chromosomal abnormalities. Permethrin is also damaging to the environment, and it is particularly toxic to bees and aquatic life." Unquote.
The products that I have briefly shared with you are toxic. They are harmful. They are slow killing the special people whom you are called to lead, provide for, and protect. Listen closely. Can you hear that? I can. It's the sound of rationalizations and lame excuses spooling up in the minds of uninvolved, negligent husbands and derelict dads. "Oh, it ain't that bad. You can't protect your kids from everything. Something's gonna kill you. It ought to be something you enjoy. If it's all that bad, the government wouldn't allow it. The FDA takes care of us Americans." If you believe that last myth, Hot Rod, I got a bridge to sell you. Governments and big corporations today lie all the time, and lie even when the truth would serve it well, to paraphrase Big Dave Champion. If you trust state employees and big corporation fat cats, you are naive with a capital N. Another reflection question for you, similar to the one I asked a few moments ago. What is the likelihood of my buying food, drinks, nutritional supplements, personal hygiene products, and home hygiene products for my wife and children? The answer isn't a probability, it's a certainty. Multiple times each day, every day, my wife and kids will eat, drink, use, and apply food, drinks, nutritional supplements, personal hygiene products, and home hygiene products that I and my wife authorize. Period. So what if I own enough AR-10s, AR-15s, and ammunition to feed those guns to put down a roving band of criminals set on harming my wife and kids? If I am simultaneously facilitating the destruction of the minds and bodies of my wife and kids with poisons like those that I just mentioned to you. A husband's and father's interests and knowledge is also an expression of his concern for his family or lack thereof. I know men who can rattle off the specs of their favorite rifle and ammo without even thinking about it. I know men who can recite the performance stats associated with their favorite baseball or basketball or football player at any given time in the current season and even past seasons. Ask these same men, who are husbands and fathers, at least in title, what are the ingredients of the chicken McNuggets that you just fed your precious daughter? They ain't got a clue. The loving, responsible, faithful husband and father will, 1, provide good food, drink, nutritional supplements, personal hygiene products, and home hygiene products for his family, and 2, will protect his family by controlling the food, drink, nutritional supplements, personal hygiene products, and home hygiene products in his house. My wife and I are proud to be users and promoters of the products of Young Living essential oils. We have used them for about 8 years. They are good for this world. So, we tell people about them. But Tony, they're expensive. This false assertion is as ambiguous as the statement, be positive, or don't be negative. Expensive, like good and bad, beautiful and ugly, positive and negative, loving and hateful, or big and little, or tall and short, is a relative adjective. Many factors determine if someone describes product X as expensive. That's not the purpose of this video. So, for now, I'll simply say that you get what you pay for. Good, healthy, quality products almost always cost more than bad, harmful, fake substitutes. If you now purchase cheap CAFO meat, GM corn and soybean-filled wannabe food, toxic toothpaste, synthetic supplements, and carcinogenic bug repellent, for example, then yes, to you, Young Living's products are expensive. Surely all you guys out there know that, quote, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also, Matthew 6:21. How you spend your money, regardless of what falls from your lips, shows what you value. Conservatively speaking, the majority of American husbands and fathers value for themselves, their wives, and their children that which is slow killing them. This is wrong, wrong, wrong. Case in point, last week in the drive-thru of one of the 2 Mickey D's in little old Claremore, Oklahoma, I saw a new shiny black Cadillac Escalade. If you're switched on, you already know the point of this story. $80,000 to $100,000 vehicle in the drive-thru of one of the cheapest, grossest, lowest quality restaurants in America. I literally stared at this incongruity in disbelief. The owner of that vehicle obviously valued his vehicle much, much more than he valued his body. So, in summary, Young Living's products are only expensive to folk who don't value good food, drink, nutritional supplements, personal hygiene products, and home hygiene products. But Tony, you gotta be a distributor and sell product and carry inventory and buy a minimum amount of product every month in order to get the wholesale price. Wrong again. None of Young Living's 5.6 million members have to carry inventory to sell it. You know how I know that? Because I've spoken to all 5.6 million members. No, just kidding. Because Young Living is a direct sales company, like hundreds of others in the world today. So all the customers buy directly from the company. Did you catch that emphasis on direct in direct sales? Over against the toxic stuff that I enumerated earlier, please, 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 husbands and fathers, please consider using the following good alternatives. But before I tell you about them, Remember, if you know better, you ought to do better. God, not T-HEP, is going to hold you even more accountable for what you well know.
Energy drink. Ningxia Nitro. No sugar, no caffeine. Listen to its ingredients. D-ribose, green tea extract, mulberry leaf extract, Korean ginseng extract, choline, vanilla oil, chocolate oil, yerba mate oil, spearmint oil, peppermint oil, nutmeg oil, black pepper oil, wolfberry seed oil, purified water, cherry, kiwi, blueberry, acerola, bilberry, blackcurrant, raspberry, strawberry, cranberry juice, coconut nectar, natural flavors, pectin, and xanthan gum. And when the company says natural flavors, I can assure you that's really natural flavors. They're not lying like many companies do. I've been to a farm or two of Young Living. I've talked to the leaders of the company. I've used their product for 8 years. And so the Young Living Ningxia Nitro works, and it's not made up of things that have been extracted, cut, isolated, and synthesized in a lab from a plant. No, these are whole plant parts, as I just said, oils of the plants, juices of the plants. Hand soap, Young Living Thieves Foaming Hand Soap. It combines Thieves Blend, which is an essential oil blend of 5 oils, lemon and orange essential oils, with other naturally derived ingredients to clean your hands. It contains no sulfates, no dyes, no synthetic fragrances, and no harsh chemicals. Young Living's Copaiba Vanilla Shampoo. It is a plant-based, environmentally friendly, toxin-free shampoo that includes yucca root, palm fruit, vanilla absolute, and 5 of Young Living's essential oils: rosemary, lavender, copaiba, geranium, and lime. Young Living Thieves Laundry Soap. The plant-based formula is free from SLS, which is sodium lauryl sulfate, dyes, petrochemicals, formaldehyde, phosphates, synthetic perfume, and optical brighteners. Many detergents add optical brighteners to make clothes appear brighter, which has nothing to do with cleaning clothes. Clothes only appear whiter and brighter because these additives reflect blue light, giving the illusion that your clothes are less yellow. These optical brighteners remain in the clothes and are against the skin when worn. Toothpaste. Young Living's Dentarome Plus Toothpaste. Naturally derived ingredients such as baking soda and Thieves Essential Oil blend gently lift stains for brilliantly clean teeth. The minty combination of peppermint and wintergreen essential oils add to the refreshing flavor. No fluoride, no sugar, no synthetic dyes, and no preservatives. Listen to the ingredients: water, sodium bicarbonate or baking soda, glycerin, xanthan gum, peppermint oil, ionic trace minerals, stevioside, eugenol, wintergreen oil, clove oil, lemon oil, cinnamon oil, eucalyptus radiata oil, rosemary oil, and thymol oil. Deodorant. Young Living's Meadow Mist Deodorant. Young Living's natural deodorants are an aluminum-free alternative to commercial products. AromaGuard Meadow Mist deodorant contains coconut oil, beeswax, vitamin E, and pure essential oils such as lemon and lavender. Air freshener or purifier. Young Living's Purification Essential Oil and one of several ultrasonic diffusers such as this one, the Desert Mist. Ditch over-empowering and harsh chemical-based sprays and keep your home smelling fresh and clean with Young Living's Purification Essential Oil. This blend is made up of 6 essential oils for the ultimate weapon against odors. Citronella, lavender, lemongrass, rosemary, myrtle, and tea tree work together to create a refreshing, bright scent that keeps you and your family happy and comfortable. Compare these ingredients to Febreze. Need I say more? Young Living's insect repellent. It has been tested to repel mosquitoes, ticks, and fleas, and prevent bug bites. It repels mosquitoes, ticks, and fleas naturally with 99% active ingredients, plus 1% vitamin E. It has been formulated with essential oils traditionally recommended for their bug repellent properties. It's made with 100% naturally derived plant-based ingredients, unlike off. It has been formulated without DEET, parabens, fillers, phthalates, petrochemicals, animal-derived ingredients, synthetic preservatives, synthetic fragrances, or synthetic colorants.
When someone with whom we share Young Living's products buys one of those products, my family and I, as we should, receive a portion of that someone's payment to Young Living. This is called a commission. Perhaps, for some strange reason, my receiving a commission bothers you. In fact, it bothers you so much that you will not buy Young Living's one-of-a-kind products. So, you never benefit from them. My purpose in this video isn't to demonstrate the irrationality of this envious thinking and subsequent behavior. I'll reserve that for a one-on-one chat with you. A purpose is to see you more consistently fulfill your God-ordained duties to lead, provide for, and protect your wife and kids. So, if you just can't stand my benefiting from something that I teach you about Young Living's products, don't buy them through me. Buy them through another member whom you know. Or buy them from an anonymous member. This is an option at Young Living's website. Or, for the dudes out there who must buy things from an impersonal corporation, you can buy them at the retail price. This is also an option at Young Living's website. More important to me than seeing an increase in my family's business sales revenue is seeing husbands and fathers being more consistent in leading, providing for, and protecting their families.